The most prescribed biological. Welcome everyone to our regular June Coos School District Board meeting. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone watches you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Thank you. Would someone like to entertain a motion to approve the agenda? Thank you, Arnie. I'll second. Thank you, David. Do I have any discussion, any additions or subtractions? Okay, hearing none. It's passed. We're going to go to, do I have a motion for the consent agenda? I'll move the Thank you. Discussion? Major fund for the PBS. Patty, can you hear us? I think you got
On and off, I can hear you. I don't have a very good connection, and all of the electrical circuits in our van went out, so I have nothing to plug in. So when this runs out of electricity, it's gone.
Okay. Thank you. And with the ongoing support of these individuals. To declare the budget hearing open. So would we have any input? I have one person down here. We're looking for input on the budget hearing. Would someone like to step forward and have any input? Andrea?
I guess I'm up.
And then we'll have the public input in a little bit. So this one's related to funding.
I just wouldn't finish it yet. All right. Good evening. My name is Andrea Qualman. My daughter Kendall is a 3-time regional Oregon Battle of the Books champion and a 1-time runner-up. Sorry, kid. I know that loss still stings. My son Tanner was the only 3rd grader on this year's OBOG regional championship team from Millicoma. I'm here tonight to advocate for the reinstatement of the recently eliminated high school library clerk assistant position. Without Gracie Jensen's help, Captain Hampton, the Marshfield librarian, would not have the temporal flexibility to teach the junior high's OBOG class and assist with the OBOG teams at both Millicoma and Sunset schools. As a parent, my #1 job is to advocate for what I think is best for my children. It's imperative to find the courage to speak up for the things that you believe in. I believe in the dynamic duo, Captain Hampton and Gracie Jensen. Next, I will read the words of some of Mrs. Hampton's junior high OBOG students. Kendall Coleman said that Mrs. Hampton is my favorite teacher and a very important part of the OBOG program here in Coos Bay. She is always encouraging and helpful. I know that she is always there for me. Mrs. Hampton does so much more than she gets credit for. She is a teacher, a librarian, a district librarian, a helper, an encourager, and perhaps most importantly, a kind person. OBOG without Mrs. Hampton would be like a book with no words. OBOG cannot lose Mrs. Hampton without negative consequences. Gus Terry said that Mrs. Hampton should teach OBOG because she is a great teacher. She has been teaching OBOG for years, so she knows what she is doing. She is also very kind and knows all our personalities and what we like. With this knowledge, she is able to speak to us with confidence and persuade us to do our work. She is also a very nice person and always makes people want to try. Weston Gibbons said that Mrs. Hampton has really made OBOB something special. She gives out snacks to everyone, is always patient and understanding, and never yells. It really feels like you can depend on her if you're confused about something or something comes up in your schedule. Mrs. Hampton has always made sure that everyone is accounted for and heard. Losing her would be like losing the soul of OBOB. If Mrs. Hampton no longer taught OBOB, it would have a detrimental effect on the morale and attitude of the class. The way that Mrs. Hampton has taught OBOB made it feel not like busy work, but really getting to know the books, always encouraging us to do what was best for our team, whether that be studying, practice questions, or reading. Through Mrs. Hampton, we were given the tools to thrive this year, and that's something I don't want to lose. Mrs. Hampton has been coaching OBOB for the past 9 years, and her passion, guidance, and expertise has proven to be both invaluable and extremely successful. Miss Jensen's brilliance permits Mrs. Hampton's flexibility of schedule. Please don't relocate Miss Jensen because Mrs. Hampton is OBOB's GOAT. I think I have a few seconds. I also wanted to read something from Mrs. Bones, who wasn't able to make the meeting tonight. She said, I thought the school board meeting was tomorrow, and I found out it's tonight. I can't make it. I had a parent ask me what I would have said. I told her North Bend is down enrollment, and they are not cutting library staff. OBOB is a sport for these kids. Some of them will never play football, basketball, or soccer. Yes, they are higher readers, but some higher readers also lose interest in reading, and with OBOB, they are more likely to continue reading. Okay.
Do we have anyone else?
No.
Okay. All right, so then it falls up to public hearing.
Next would be to adopt the budget or to make a motion for that.
Oh, I thought you were gonna present.
I can, however, everyone was at the budget committee meeting and watched them. So it's essentially a summary that our state revenues are up by about 1.2% from the general fund. Staffing costs are up over 10%. In order to balance the budget for next year, we did remove $1 million transfer to capital projects while maintaining our athletic reserve and our church reserve fund transfers that we're required to do. Other than that, it is status quo in order to build the budget.
Okay. All right, thank you. So you'd like us to entertain a motion on adopting the budget?
I would, yeah. I believe we provided you with the resolution 2025-03.
I'm trying to find out what page it was on.
19.
So we have to read some of these numbers, do I remember correctly?
That is correct.
Okay, so
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve resolution number 2025-03. I remember the amounts that I have to read here.
So just the first part, the resolution adopting the budget, and then resolution making appropriations. You don't have to read it by you, so you just refer back to this resolution. But please refer to the total adopted budget amount.
All right. So resolution that says, be it resolved that the board of directors for the Coos Bay School District hereby adopts the budget for fiscal year 2025-2026 in the amount of $77,524,363.36. Budget is now filed at the district's administration office, 333 South 10th Street, Oregon. It resolved that the amounts shown below in there are hereby appropriated for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025 for the following purpose. I'll just read the amounts there. The general fund amount total is $43,945,335.36. Special revenue fund is $16,264,190 even. Debt service fund in the amount of $4,719,425 even. Capital projects is $1,970,000, nothing. It's like total of $77,524,363.36. And then that also increases that The taxes for the taxes provided in the budget is assessed value is $4.5276 per $1,000 of assessed value for a tax rate, and in the amount of $4,001,990 for debt services on the general obligation bonds. That's the motion.
Good. Thank you.
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion?
So I just want to ask a question along that same line. This budget, we had to cut some to get there. How does it look for next year? Is it going to get worse or do we have any idea?
It's pretty flat in terms of state funding because of the 49% first year of the biennium and then the 51% split in year 2. However, it will all depend on the declining enrollment and then federal funding. And I don't have any headline.
No crystal ball.
No crystal ball.
Okay.
Right, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Should I get aye?
She's
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Motion passed. Thank you.
You need to do the category thing. That's
No, just by using the resolution number in totality, that will be sufficient. Thank you.
Okay. We're gonna get the budget hearing closed. Now we're gonna recognize retirees of the 23-24 school year. And so I have a little statement here and then I have a longer statement. So what I'll do is so I don't butcher it, I'll read the statement that I have, and then the statements from the principals, I'll figure out a way to get it attached to like an image, and then maybe we can post it on our Facebook and sites like that. So good evening, everyone. Tonight we come together with deep appreciation and heartfelt gratitude to honor the 2025 retirees of the Coos Bay School District. Each of you has contributed more than time. You've shared your talents, your compassion, and your unwavering dedication to the students and families of this community. Whether in the classroom, the front office, or on our grounds, your impact has shaped lives and helped build a better future. You've inspired generations, fostered curiosity, and stood as a steady presence throughout time of growth and change. The legacy you leave is not written only in lesson plans or schedules, but in the hearts of the young people you've touched. On behalf of the entire school board and this community, we thank you. Thank you for your years of service, for believing in what's possible, and for giving so much of yourselves to Coos Bay. We wish you all the joy, adventure, and rest that retirement brings. You have earned every moment. Congratulations and thank you. And so the names here. So this is in reference to Debbie Drops, and if I say it wrong, please correct me. Deborah Hokamp, Karen Bones, Adrina Villa, and Greg Ford.
And the board has got you guys a gift, so if you are present, stand up.
Thank you.
So-
Thank you.
Does anybody else?
Yes, I do.
I spun through that pretty quick if there's something you wanted to say.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so now we'll get to the public input. So we've got 3 people signed up. So here's a little heads up. Speakers may offer objective criticism of school operations and programs, but the board will not hear personal complaints concerning school personnel, nor against any person connected with the school system. The time limit is 3 minutes. The board chair will direct the visitor to the appropriate means of board consideration and disposition of legitimate complaints involving individuals. Board policy BDDH. So first up, we have Megan Vanderlyn.
Hello.
Hey, Megan.
My name's Megan, and I have a child in the school district who will be going to kindergarten next year, and then my daughter just graduated high school here. I have some concerns about what has been allowed inside of our school district over the last few years, and there has been a lot of complaints and things brought up online through not just Facebook, through the news outlets about predators being allowed in our community and in our schools, and I would like to know what's going to happen going forth to keep those people from happening, keep those people out of our school district and out of our systems. I mean, there was an open door policy down here at Northwest Fitness for our children to be going in and out of there. And so things have happened, and I know it can't be brought up because they're open court cases, but I need to know that my child's going to be safe in this school district because he is already, sorry. He is a foster child with trauma, and I do not and will not put him in a situation where it's going to happen because he cannot stand up for himself. And if nobody else is gonna, it's gotta be me. So I need to know that he's going to have voices that are outside of me that are also going to protect him when I send him off to these school districts. So I need to know that it's not gonna happen anymore and that he's going to be safe when he starts school in September. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Megan.
I'm here to basically discuss the same subject. I volunteer over at,
Oh, sorry, Tony, could you say your name real quick for the
oh,
record?
I'm sorry, my name is Tony Portor. I sometimes volunteer over at Madison School because my grandson has special needs and I work there with them sometimes. And I had to go through a background check, so I want to know how that man got next to our children. It doesn't make any sense to me how he was allowed to be around our children. We are supposed to have stuff in place for that. Like I said, I'm a grandmother and I had to have a background check to go in my grandson's bathroom, but we're just randomly sending kids down there and exposing them to a man that has not one now and not two, but 3 sets of charges against him, and they're all 9 years apart, which means there's no way that man could have gotten rid of those person-to-person crimes. Somebody knew they were there. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. And then, Glenn. Glenn Crook, from Steele.
Hello, everybody.
Uh-oh. Good evening. I'd like to ask for permission to travel to Atlanta, Georgia for the Skills USA National Competition. We had 5 students this year that were able to win state competitions, that were able to travel to nationals. We had 7 gold at state this year in just the manufacturing class alone. I believe there was about 10 if we're including all 3 programs. So Skills USA is a CTE program where basically it's just for technical education. So we're going into trades, welding, carpentry, plumbing, electrician stuff. And I'd just like to ask for permission to travel to Atlanta, Georgia.
And David, I don't see this on
It's
here.
the next thing on the
It's an
agenda.
action item, actually, for number 8. Yeah, it's written. How to see. Yes.
Okay. All right, can anyone entertain a motion? We're going to.
Yeah, I move we approve Mr. Crook to go on a competition and represent Marshfield well. So yes, that's why I'd love to make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Good luck. We'll be excited to hear how it goes.
All right, next up, we have our destination student. Ready to do this? All right, thank you. Cody.
We have an upcoming field trip tomorrow for the Cena head of my house. I'm also going to take the China Lake Trail. And as far as I know, we have 22 graduates and 5 of those were juniors. And I've been told we have a 100% graduation rate in destinations.
Wow.
That's all.
Thank you.
That was very good.
Thank you, Cody.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay, next up, we have the CBA business with Becky Crane.
Good evening, all.
Hold that right.
All right. You're gonna grab it, David?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Okay, so, probably not a coincidence that Catherine Hampton was our member, is our member spotlight this month. Catherine was nominated by a member that teaches at the junior high. And the words that were shared when she was nominated were, our 8th graders have been going up to the high school library once a week and they love it. You even see them reading books She made a hands-on escape room on the Outsiders novel. So when the students were done reading, they got to go up and work through the escape room. So the picture here is her Catherine Sobov team at State, in April, and then some of the escape room supplies. I loved the line, and that's why I said it twice, that you even see them reading books, because junior high teachers know, and I've had some experience knowing that trying to get them to read books and enjoy books can be a real challenge. So that's a great honor in saying that she's responsible for getting them reading. So thank you, Catherine. We appreciate you. Next, CDEA honors 2 tries. If we have 2, we give 2 $1,250 scholarships out each year to applicants that are graduating and are children of our members. So this year, our recipients were Gisela Corselletti. She is the daughter of Aaron Atkins, and Tatum Montiel, who is the daughter of Tammy Montiel, and of course Floyd as well, but Tammy's the CDEA member. Recipients are chosen blindly by retired Coos Bay teachers, and Rose Stinson chairs that committee, and I believe this was her last year to do so. So a big shout out to Rose for putting that together for us, and of course to Gisela and Tatum. And congratulations to the other grads as well. Bargaining, I don't know if you know, but we have another session tomorrow night, and we are really hoping that it is our last one. We were able to kind of break it down into some more informal talk about what is this going to take, and we made some great strides last week when we last met. So looking forward to hopefully wrapping that up tomorrow. As for the summer, let's see, next week. I almost want to say next week because it just feels wrong, but next week we are going to have a planning retreat for our officers and building reps, just to start planning for next year. And officially on August 1st, our new officers will take over with President Glenn Crook from Marshfield. Tracy Cates will remain our vice president. Jen Winston is taking over as our secretary, and Diane Handy will stay in her role as treasurer. I went on a lovely field trip today to the jet boats, got off the bus at 5 o'clock, and left my phone somewhere in the transition, so I'm not staying, but it's been a pleasure working with you all, and I'll see you around. Thank you.
All right, next up, we have OSCA business with Bree Landrum.
Good evening. I'm a little bit jealous that Becky got to be on the road today. I got to go with Destination, so about a week and a half ago, so I can't complain too much about not being able to go. So with it being, what is this forward?
Yep.
Okay. With this being June and graduation month for MHS, who better to spotlight this month but Jennifer Bonnell, who works at our high school. And I'm going to read out what one of her peers at Marshall has said about her. Jennifer is the heart of our school community, a dedicated high school, college, and career coordinator, leadership coordinator, scholarship facilitator, and director of the MHS charity program. With many years of service, she is a true pillar of our school, holding the history and traditions of MHS close and passing them on with pride. Her tireless commitment to student success and personal growth is unmatched. Whether she's guiding students towards their future goals, empowering young leaders, connecting families with life-changing scholarships, or organizing meaningful charity initiatives, Jennifer brings passion, grace, and integrity to everything she does. As a colleague, she is not only reliable and knowledgeable, but also uplifting and kind, a true team player whose positive energy makes our school a better place every day. We're incredibly lucky to have her, and she is here tonight. I also want to say that hearing this from one of her peers at MHS, it carries over with the work that she's done in OSEA and within the union as a negotiating team member. So very much with knowing the history and traditions and kind of what's going on, I couldn't be doing it this year without her help, since I'm like a greenhorn, you know, and it's my first negotiations round. And so not only does she do that for students, but she's doing that for staff members too. And so thank you, Jennifer, for all of your hard work. Then I have to do I know you guys have two screens, but I still can't see at that angle. We too are going to have a new Chapter 33 board. Myself is going to stay as president, and Amaral is going to be our vice president, and Allison is going to be our secretary. Our treasurer will remain Brenda, and Shelley Fuller is remaining as our hospitality. And so that will be our Chapter 33 for OSEA here in our school district for the 25-26 school year. And then I know that you guys had recognized retirees, but several of them on your list were classified. So Debbie Hocamp, Adriana Villa, Greg Fuller, Karen Bones, and Debbie Drops. And I know it has been sent out in an email, but we will be doing a OSEA end of the year beginning summer kickoff celebration on the 16th at 4:30. And so we will also be recognizing our retirees at that point as well. And then for our bargaining update, the reason why we're going to have our party the 16th is we have our next bargaining session on the 16th from 8:15 to possibly 3:15 in the morning. So kind of getting together and working through some of the things. Unfortunately, our last bargaining session did not end on a great note. Just, you know, when you're getting to things and talking about things such as salary and how that impacts the livelihood of classified members, sometimes tensions can get high, but I think that we're a lot closer with language and coming to a conclusion. And hopefully the 16th, we can wrap things up, since that is during time off for our members. And then our OSEA Chapter 33 also does 2 scholarships for members, and one of them was a Marshfield graduate, is Brandon McCoy, who is also a speaker, and his mother is Sonia, here in the district, that works in the art. And then Michael Waldrop is an educational assistant out at Sunset, and his daughter is a North Bend High School graduate, and she, her name is Penelope. But I've known her as Penny when she was in kindergarten. And so it's super exciting to be able to give those to the students and kind of see where they go in life. So, is there any questions? Okay, that's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want this back?
Okay, next up on the agenda, we have Avid presentation by our principal Eli Ashton.
Thank you.
We're up. So I'm just going to give you guys a little bit of historical background and knowledge about the Avid program at Marshfield. Everyone know that Mr. Johnson, our Avid tutors and our Avid students talk a little bit about what Avid is. Well, I'm not going to do it. Yeah, you're the man. So we started Avid back in 2017. We went through a 4-year process. COVID hit and it kind of decimated the program. So we were in a reset mode. back in 2021. So really, we're in year 4 of implementation, what I consider year 4. And also we have, some turnover in staff. What has been instrumental with our program is our site teams. We have 15 members on our site team, which consists of certified staff, mostly certified staff, myself, Jen Vanell, our college and career specialist, and then Noah Martin, who was a tutor for us for many years, also does credit recovery, but has kind of been our tutor mentor as we kind of our tutor system is a little different than it was when we first started, and they can talk a little bit about that. But right now, just to give you some ideas, we have 64 students currently enrolled in our Avid elective class. Next year, we're going to have 96 students. So we're going to go from 3 sections to 5 sections, and that's just at the high school. The junior high joined us last year, and so they have now 2 sections, one in 7th grade and one in 8th grade. Instrumental into our Avid program is the Summer Institute that we are so fortunate to attend. It's for our staff. They provide they're called COPs, Community of Practices, and so our staff sign up for those. They range anywhere from content specific, like math, ELA, science, to the Avid elective teachers, to community, culture, leadership, all different kinds. And so the purpose is to go to those COPs and then come back together for site time and we do our planning. So we have our Avid elective, but then we have our Avid school-wide. So they're going to talk a little bit about all that. But just to kind of give you an idea there, this summer, we had 19 staff going to Avid. So we're really excited. It's great because typically we have to go a long ways, whether it's Denver, San Diego, Seattle. This year we're fortunate it's in Portland, so it helps us bring the cost down and get more staff there. And it's a 3-day trip, so we're excited. So, Mr. Johnson.
Awesome. So I'd like to just take a moment to recognize 3 of our tutors who have recently graduated and they are spending their first free weeknight off from Marshfield High School with us here at the school board meeting. So I really appreciate you guys being here. And we have 2 young ladies hiding in the back who have taken their time out of their night of studying for finals this week to join us. So I just really appreciate all you guys being here with us. Not just click it.
5-point minute. No. Hey, I got you.
All right.
You just click away.
Dave and Coming Clutch. Oh, those are just some names of who is here with us. So our principal, Mr. Ashton. Did I do that?
Yep.
All right. I don't know what's going on. I'm Anthony Johnson. We have Tayton, Cece, and Jonah. And over here we have Isle and Isabella. Let's see if it works. Oh. So what is AVID? So the textbook definition of AVID is advancement via individual determination. But what does that really mean to us? AVID is all about helping students reach their full potential. It's a program that supports students in staying organized, thinking critically, working well with others, and preparing for college and careers. Whether it's learning how to take better notes, setting goals, or taking required advanced coursework, AVID gives you the tools and the support system to succeed. It's about believing in yourself and putting in the work to get to where you want to go. So that is really how we feel at Marshfield about what AVID is for us. We are breaking down barriers, we're opening doors, we're providing tools for our students to succeed. Yeah, it works. So this slide here is just kind of comparing AVID's mission to Coos Bay School District's mission, and they're kind of highlighted by where they match up. So AVID's mission is to close the opportunity gap by preparing all students for college and career readiness and success in a global society, whereas CBD9's mission is all students graduate with a plan and are either enrolled, employed, or enlisted when they graduate. So there's a lot of mesh between those two, and AVID really supports the mission that we have, that you guys have set for Coos Bay School District. And then the check boxes, is it for everyone? Yes, it is. Does it support the 3 E's, enrollment, enlisted, employed? Yes, it does. Is AVID meant to provide access? Yes, it is. And I know that's a big vision of Coos Bay School District, is to open doors for all of our students. And lastly, rigor. AVID is a program that is designed for rigor. And our AVID students are required to take advanced coursework. I'm going to speed up because the clock's counting fast.
And I just kind of wanted to highlight our 9th grade class since they are new with us. It has 26 total students, 11 males, 15 females, 14 students are white, and 12 are students of color. Our class average GPA is a 3.14, which is right in between a B and a B plus. Out of 26 students, only 3 have Fs, and only one of them have multiple Fs, which is, I believe, is well below the rate of the school, Marshfield High School in general, and our overall F rate is only 3.75. 27% of our AVID students are enrolled in clubs or non-sport extracurriculars, so you're talking about band, our Latinx, Pirates for Christ, journalism, yearbook, it goes on. 46% of our students are enrolled in at least one CTE class. We have students who are enrolled in multiple, and also coincidentally, 46% their freshman year have already been enrolled in advanced coursework, and that number, I imagine, is just based off of forecasting will go up next year. And then almost 1 in 3 played at least one sport. So academically, we're doing great. All of our AVID students are involved in extracurriculars one way or another. What we got next? What AVID is it? So there's a few misconceptions that float around about AVID. AVID isn't just a study hall. We don't put them in a classroom and just tell them to get to work. So I guess I'll read this. While students do get time to work on assignments, the focus is on building skills that help you succeed long-term, like note-taking, time management, and goal setting. AVID is not only for students who already have straight A's, that's another misconception. This is really for anybody who wants to challenge themselves and work hard. It's improve and prepare for a life after high school, no matter where they're starting from and regardless of which of the 3 E's they choose to pursue in the future. So we're not looking to tell kids they have to go this route, or this route. We are providing them the tools to make those decisions on their own. We attend college fairs, we attend job fairs that are hinged towards the trades. We've researched different roles in the military, and it's not just an extension of our advisory. It's a structured credit earning class with real tools, real support, and real growth opportunities designed to help them reach their full potential. I guess that was kind of what so what is AVID? AVID is a place for any student who wants to grow, work hard, and challenge themselves. It's where you'll learn lifelong skill. I feel like I read this already. Oh my gosh, your clicker is different than mine. It's driving me crazy. I'm gonna skip the next one. In AVID, you'll also explore your future, whether that means college, going straight into the workforce, trade school, or the military. It's about finding the path for you. The course is built around academic support, especially through something we call tutorials. I've handed you guys a few handouts. The pink page is the AVID tutorial steps. And then the little packet is some examples of what our pre-work for the tutorials are. And I'll let the tutors and the students touch upon that. Oh my gosh, we got 2 minutes. All right, I'm going to jump to them talking. So there's a lot for you guys if you want to go and look at it. So we're going to start with the elective students. They're going to be a little shy, but it's okay. So if you could answer, how has AVID helped you academically and as a teammate, and what skills have you gained?
Okay, so it has helped me a lot academically. It gives me a lot of time to work on missing work, and I feel like it really helps me focus. I have it at the end of the day, and I can just like look at all the work that I need to finish in other classes and like really attempt to work on it. And I feel like I met a lot of new friends at AVID, and I don't know, I just feel like it's been very helpful, and I feel like I've had more time to think about the future and what I want to do next, and yeah.
How it's helped me academically is it's easier to ask for help in this class. So, like, you're friends with the whole class, and the teachers are always there to help. Same with like the tutors. So I just find it like really helpful to have someone who can help you one-on-one in that class. And for like tutorial, it helped me like first with its subject and problem. It helps me just see exactly steps how to go through my problem.
I know it's tough to talk, you guys did great.
And then I'm going to hand you guys off to our Avid tutors. Could you guys talk a little bit about the tutorial process, because we keep saying it? And I know it's kind of not something most people know what it is.
Okay, hi, I'm Cece. So at the beginning of each week, we start with like grade checks, binder checks, we make sure everyone has the resources they need to do their work and work on a tutorial later in the week. And so then we do these things called TRFs. It's a tutorial request form. And basically you have a subject in a class and you have an initial question and then you write the steps that led up to what you might be confused about. So you have a point of confusion, or you could do confidence if you really think you're that confident in every class, but most of the students aren't. And so once you fill that out, we all on Thursdays, which is our block day, we would have whiteboards, TVs, etc. And kids would go up one at a time and share the steps that took them to their point of confusion. And then tutors, teachers, other students were open to helping them reaching the answer to whatever they needed. And it's really important because a lot of the students are in similar classes, so they can help each other. If one has a question, the other might be thinking they have the same question, and it helps them as well, you know? And then the tutors, they can step in, they can take over, they can add more questions if you want to challenge the students a little bit more. And the rest of the kids take notes throughout the tutorial process, and it's fun. It gets everyone talking. It helps people go out of their shell a little bit, and it made bonds with everyone. And I think it was really important and fun for me.
All right. I think we're out of time. Well, thank you guys. Oh.
You guys could go ahead and finish if I'd like to say something too.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll have time to do it. We'll take from our questions.
Okay.
Steal time from them.
Can I ask a second question?
Of course you can. I don't think Tate and Jonah will argue
Okay,
for that.
well, I think Avid was really helpful for the students we worked with as well, because going at the beginning of the year, there were a few students in each class that were like, I don't want to do a tutorial. I don't want to work. I have no, like a few of them were really put in this class because they needed to be put in the class, and they said, like, I don't have a future, you know? And then by the end of the school year, they were doing tutorials like that with a little bit of back talk instead of just, I'm not doing that, you know? And it was really great seeing how much they were able to open up. And I think that was super important because it's not only an academic thing we do in Avid, it builds bonds, you know, and it's advancement via individual determination. We want them to be determined. And it, like, we love Mr. Johnson, but he's a teacher. Most of the students are like, oh, it's just this old guy yelling at them, right? But if you have tutors that are seniors in high school, you see all of us tutors have our own
right under the bus.
I'm sorry. All of our
old.
own tutors have our own futures ahead of us, and we all are going different paths. But we have a plan. We have a goal. And I think them seeing us with a goal, wanting to help them, and being like encouraging to them, really helps them think, wait, I should have a goal. I can do this in the future. That'd be great for me too. So I think the emotional bond and encouragement really was just as much, if not more, than the academic help that we gave the students. I mean, we gave them a lot, but I think it was really good for everyone to just become friends. We made a lot of friends with the kids, and they were sad to see us go. And it really gave them a little jump start in what they want to do in the future as well. So that's what helped them and me.
So previous years, how it's designed to get tutors is you're really supposed to find college students or adults to mentor. So this is the first year that, you know, it's really hard to find people that want to come back and work for, you know, basically 10 hours, you know, 15 hours a week. It's hard. So this is the first year that we went solely 100% partial students. And it's been a huge success because of not just the academic support, but the mentor. These guys have become mentors to all these students. And so they've inspired them to look and see what they can do next, because these guys all have their ideas. They know exactly what they want to do. And so that's helped tremendously to get these kids thinking. And they're Marshall kids. Like, I'm just like you. I'm a Marshall freshman, I'm a sophomore, these guys are seniors, rather than just some person who came off the street. So,
some old dude.
Yes, I'm just an old kid. I'm sorry.
Do we have any questions?
36, by the way, if that was your question. Only 36.
I was curious.
Well, as a really old guy, I'm curious about what motivated you all to look at wanting to do this. What was it about that you saw as an opportunity that you all want to, you know, become an avid tutor?
Yeah, I can take this one. I came into this like high school like being like a normal kid like everyone else, and you grow up and do all these things, your sports, your activities. you grow up and just, you become yourself, you figure out what you want to do in life and get closer and closer to your goals every day. And it was helpful because I have a little brother and he's in 8th grade, and he'd ask me a lot of questions, and like, he's like, oh, how are you? What are you doing for college? Like, how do you figure out where you want to go to school? And he doesn't have any help. Like, he doesn't really know what he's talking, like what he's asking me. Like, so I kind of started explaining it to him, and then Mr. Johnson and a bunch of other teachers were asking me to be an Avid tutor, and I was like, yeah, sure. And so I'm helping like freshmen. I guess we help freshmen, 8th graders and 7th graders, and so and sophomores, sorry. And so they see like the process that we've all been through, but we can share our experiences of how we've been through school and like things like that. But they also like, it's a way to like just connect. Like, I know when I was a freshman, it was really cool to like see you senior or whatever, say hi or whatever, talk to you or whatever. But now like we have like CC and Tatum who are really big around our school and stuff. So I know it's a lot of help for those kids, and it's easier for them to, if they can connect with one of us, and then they can definitely connect with some people in their class that they see every single day. So I guess that's just the way that I looked at it when I signed up for it.
Thank you. Any questions? Courtney?
Just say thank you. I really appreciate it. Looks like one person's going to Eugene for school.
I'm actually not.
Hi.
I'm going to San Diego State. So.
All right. Nice on the step.
It is nicer weather. I know, yeah.
There's no grass there.
There's no green.
So do you want to show that last picture?
Oh, and this is thank you for reminding me. This is one of my absolute favorite things that we do for our end of the year. We call it an Avid event, but it's really a school-wide event, but it was born from Avid. And I don't know if you guys were there or not, but what we did was we lined up all of our seniors, and we got them hats, we got them shirts. They all had their own signing day, whether they're going into the military, whether they're going into the college, whether they're going into the workforce. How many? It was over almost 100 this year, right?
No, wait, well, I've only had 67 that showed up, but
no.
The challenge with this every year is just getting the kids to commit and coming down. A lot of them will show up like literally in the moment, and so I want to do this too. Like they see everybody out there and like, well, we asked you to sign up over a month ago. Like, because it's like, because we're, and this. So Doug Miles is the one. He was the brainchild behind this last year. We started this last year. And it was just an opportunity because we do athletic signings, we do all these things, but we wanted to celebrate our seniors that they're committing to their post high school plan. And so this was their opportunity to share. And so basically what I do is I just take the mic and go from each kid, and they just tell us, what are they going to school? Are they going military? Are they going to go trade school? Are they going workforce? What are you studying? Kind of what is your plan? And so this is their shining moment. And then we try to, we do a little celebration. We take pictures afterwards and things like that. So
if you guys have time next year, it is one of the coolest moments to be at. Yeah. Thank you guys for.
I'll also plug one more thing for the students, because it's always hard. It's like the military when you get out, they tell you all the things you get, but nobody remembers it because they're wanting to get out. You want to get out of high school. Think about it. As you go to college or wherever you go, Marshall has a very unique program in the student loan program, very low interest loans. And you can talk to your principal right there because it's on the committee. And you can get low interest loans for you're going to college cheaper than the interest that you would pay into the student loans. So know that it's there. Know that they have a fair amount of money. So they can give you loans. You get less when you're a freshman, more as you get to be a senior. So in that next 4 years, you can still have a connection back to the high school and get money to help you finish school.
Thank you.
Well, the good thing about these guys too is they got a good shred of scholarship.
That's why the freshman year you don't need as much. It's when you get to be a junior.
Yeah, it's when you get a little bit. When you get to go to grad school. Grad school is all. Yeah,
that's right.
So.
Right. Thank you guys for coming.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Next on the agenda is our superintendent update.
You guys, you're more than welcome to stay.
David.
Yeah.
Transition us.
Really cool.
Good at it.
You guys go. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good job.
Wow, okay. And that made me feel
Thank
anxious. Yeah. Put in the grave. Like that on this next subway ticket. Okay.
All right.
Okay, before we jump into this, super impressive. These kids, one, being here, they just graduated. That's a commitment of civic duty. I don't know how many kids would show up to a school board meeting a couple days after they graduate. That's awesome.
Senior all-night party.
Yeah. You get to bed at 5 o'clock in the morning. And then the other thing is, it was mentioned, I think it's important, Principal Ashton brought up the word opportunity gaps. And I think that's important in education because for a long time we talked about achievement gaps. We're really focused on achievement gaps. And they're important, but we started to reframe them because a lot of times they're not achievement gaps, they're opportunity gaps because the students didn't receive the opportunity. So your vision, our vision, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to close opportunity gaps. And that's, you'll see what we're doing with career and technical education, advanced placement, dual college credit, algebra in 8th grade, solid floor, porous ceiling. If a kid is ready, he's ready, she's ready, we're going to let kids accelerate. And that all goes back to the word opportunity gaps instead of achievement gaps. So before I jump into this, there's a lot of data. I'm not going to go through all the data in detail. We will spend more time during our work session, our board summer work session. David would love to show up for that, and one last time. But I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. There's a couple data points I'll unpack in a little more detail. There's a lot of glows. I've spent the last couple days with our team, and in fact, I feel bad because I know I'm going to miss some stuff. But there are a lot of student achievement glows at all levels, K-12. One of the themes that I've talked about this year is really we're trying to put the puzzle pieces together. This predates me. I didn't bring AVID to the Coos Bay School District or proficiency-based learning or MTSS or science of reading. A lot of this work was happening prior to me coming back. We just have been intentional about trying to really go, okay, this is what we're going to do. Let's do a really good job of it. Let's be focused. Let's have clarity. Let's get the PD, and let's not try to do everything. So we're trying to be intentional on putting the puzzle pieces together and keeping those puzzle pieces together. So some things that drive our work, and you guys have heard me say this, all students deserve great schools by design, not luck. There is a science to schools. There is a science, there's certainly an art, right? But there's a science to it, right? When you look at instruction, curriculum, and assessment, and responsive services, those are best practices. We're not making those things up. The relationships is the art. The methods, the pedagogy, that's the art. Students who need the most deserve the best, and we certainly have a lot of students in Coos Bay who need the most. The smartest person in the room is the room. Right, you guys are great at that. You're super collaborative. You get along. You're collegial. It isn't one person who dominates the conversation, but really it's us. It's the collective. And you're trying to create smart rooms. Get a bunch of people together who care, who have experience, who are smart. So some glows. I'm going to bounce through these pretty quickly. One of the things that we talk a lot about in our admin teams is shrink the red, grow the green. How do we shrink the red and how do we grow the green? So you're going to see a lot of data here. There's a lot of red that is being reduced, and there's a lot of green that is growing throughout K-12. So K-3 dibbles. All I want you to notice is when you see the bar on the left, you see the bar on the right, at every grade level, the bar on the right is smaller than the bar on the left. So beginning of the year to the end of the year, we have more students who are proficient reading. K-3. You can see kindergarten, significant reduction. Exceeding. What I want you to pay attention to here is the bar on the right is larger than the bar on the left. So end of year and beginning of the year and end of year. So these are students above proficiency, K-3. So the number of students that our staff, our teachers, our support staff Our systems are growing. It's considerable. You look at kindergarten, 10% of the students were exceeding in reading. Now we have 29% of the students exceeding. So lots of growth. Madison, if you look at, this is longitudinal, 22, 23, 23, 24, 24, 25. Look at the difference in this year compared to several years ago. And the number of students specifically in blue exceeding, you did an apples to apples, 21% to 9%. And then students who are proficient, someone help me, there is that 32%? Yep. Compared to 30%, or no, 20%. I'm only looking at this too, I can't see. But lots of good work happening at Madison. East Side reading proficiency, proficient and exceeding. Again, historical data, you can see the blue and the green are increasing every single year. And a lot of this work is elementary teachers and their support staff in the science of reading, right? And that PD is paying off for our kids. That's too small to see. I will send this out to everybody, but Sunset has really strong achievement in reading accuracy. I think it's 85%. At all 4 grade levels, they're 85% proficient. This is K-8 math growth. You can see in the beginning, does not meet, approaching, meets, and exceeds. I'd like to see the blue. I think we would all like to see the blue, that blue bar bigger than what it is, but meets, lots of good growth because they're meeting proficiency. And that's K-8 math. And this is Sunset. All I want you to pay attention to is look at the red on top, the beginning of the year, and look at the red on the bottom. Almost cut in half. Look at the green on top and look at the green on bottom. The number of students who are proficient in math. Significant growth, right? Shrinking the red, growing the green. Sunset math data. I already showed this twice. Millacoma math data. Look at Millacoma's math data. This is a highlight. Look at Millacoma's red at the beginning of the year in math proficiency. Look at Millacoma's green in math proficiency at the end of the year. Lots to celebrate. Junior high. 7th and 8th graders. More 7th and 8th graders are meeting proficiency levels in math. So what's going to happen, and we talk a lot about this, we're going to have more and more kids ready for Algebra 1 in 8th grade and 9th grade because we have to be solid in Algebra 1 so that math ceiling gets really high, right? Algebra 1 is unfortunately a little bit of a gatekeeping course. So we talk a lot about, Chad says this, everybody's got to be ready for Algebra 1 and everybody's got to be ready for Math 105. Those 2 courses are critical. Whether they take calculus is probably going to be based on their career path, right? If they're going to be an engineer, probably got to take calculus. If they're going to be a math professor, calculus. Computer science, calculus. We've got to get to the point where about 20% of our kids are enrolled in calculus courses. So this is preliminary data. Really excited. Marshall Junior High is on the left. The state is on the right, in blue. We believe that our reading and our math data is above the state average. I know that's not where we want to be, right? Nobody's planting a flag for 34%, but we're above the state average, right? So the needle's moving. Math, significant increase. That's historical math data. On the right is, someone help me out with that. What number is that?
34%.
34%. That's the state assessment. Reading, the junior high to the right. What was it, David?
48%.
48%. 8th grade Algebra 1 enrollment. So on the left is national averages. It's 35% of 8th graders are enrolled in Algebra 1. And our district is 21%. And again, we're ahead of the state, which is 16%. Students taking at least one AP course. The United States average is what, David?
34.7.
Oregon is?
15.6.
And we are?
19.
19. AP enrollment. Hockey stick growth. So if you guys look, in 21-22, we had 79 AP enrollments in Marshfield High School. Next year, we'll have 533 AP enrollments. This year, we had 136. So we have said, what is that? What is that, 300% increase, Mr. Roland, math teacher? Somewhere in there?
Yep.
So that's what we call hockey stick growth, right? So this is going back to Avid. Because one of the things that I love about Avid is we're a perfect Avid district. And one of the things they focus on, do your students come from homes with their parents have a college degree? They call them first gen students. So we have a lot of students and that's okay, but they don't come from a traditional college going background. So there's a lot of opportunity gaps that are being closed. Dual college enrollment, I think we'll be at 300 next year. Marshfield 9th grade passing grade. We believe, Mr. Ashton gave me this today, we think for freshmen, it'll be 90%. That's it, because that's a really important year, team. Because if they can pass their classes, this is what the research shows. If they pass their classes when they're freshmen, they graduate as seniors. Right? So that's a strong passing rate. The seniors, 98% passing rate at Marshfield High School.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's great work. We got the sophomores and juniors they're working on. There's a push going on right now, but the bookends are strong right now. Senior high graduation rate, just a disclaimer, the projection is they think it's 94%, not four-year graduation rate. The seniors at Marshfield this year who enrolled, 94% of them they believe graduated this year. So that's strong. Destinations, the passing rate was 89%. That's collectively, that's 912. Destinations, they believe that their graduation rate for this year is 100%. Impressive. Now, not four-year graduation, but all the seniors who were there. And I've shown this a couple times, just really proud of this work. If you look at Destinations graduation rate historically, at one time it was 5%. So we're moving from a 5% graduation rate, Kayla and her team, to we're looking at 100%. Like, team, that's moving mountains. That does not happen by accident. That is through belief, that is through culture, that is through systems.
Lots of patience.
Lots of patience, lots of counseling. I mean, you're moving mountains. They already mentioned this. This is a great event. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there. I was, I think, double and triple booked the 67 seniors. I like this because this is typically what you see for athletes, right? And they moved it beyond just athletes. It's also for students academically, in the military, and the career technical education field. I think this has gotten lots of, here's another glow. That's a huge deal. Talk about the GOAT. He broke the record. And then there's the team award.
What, you cut his hair off?
They beat the OSAA, set the record for the 4x4.
For 10 minutes.
For what?
10 minutes. 6 to 8 kids beat it.
Oh, they did? Yeah. Okay. For 10 minutes, okay.
Yeah, it was really cool. They beat, it was, the record actually was by all the water. Someone said it in 1984.
Okay.
And then they beat it, and yeah, then 6 to 8 kids beat it
10
minutes later, or 15 minutes later.
So she's tired of us talking about this, but I don't really care. Again, we have the elementary principal of the state, Coos Bay School District, Kara Davidson, and she's tired of me talking about this as well, but I don't care. We also have Dr. Kayla Crook, and so she's here. Let's everybody give Kayla a round of applause. As you talk about persistence, that takes a lot of time. And then to you guys, thank you.
We're also seeing the difference between the advisors he had at the White House the first time and the people he has now.
It's Addie. It's only Addie.
This is no political zone. No, but you guys, thank you. You guys are great to work with. I've worked with a lot of school boards, and you guys are one of the best. You really do. You have the district, community, kids at heart, and just appreciate you guys' professionalism and keeping the main thing. As you know, sometimes school boards can get into areas and weeds, And you guys do a great job of staying high level and in keeping us accountable to the mission. So next steps for the board. So this summer, revisit the strategic plan, solidify our long-term alt-ed plan, just get into strategic planning. That's an iterative process, report progress on goals. We'll go a little bit deeper on the data, more time for questions. Revisit facility and operations projects. There's never enough money, so we have to prioritize. We will have clarity from ODE on the accountability framework, update on state assessments, and solidify our key performance indicators. So last thing is we have the right plan, and it's based on evidence, data, need, best practices, and future evidence. So the plan's in place. Now we just need to go execute it. So before I turn it over, questions? Okay.
All right, thank you. I was gonna say, I'm so surprised that I might have attended the next David hearing now on the board. You know, I just to work this whole year, we've talked about some of the deficit areas of our performance and just kind of where we are really lacking in some areas, and just to see that really we make some really good progress is really refreshing and actually a little bit surprising, because I did not think we would maybe be there.
Yeah.
So, and you know, Oregon standards are not great, so it's nice that we're meeting some of those benchmarks and exceeding them. It gets us out of the basement a little bit, or this in the basement with the rest of Oregon. But you know, it's obviously a great first step in those areas that we're making this goal. So
yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm actually surprised by some. I knew we'd have growth in every area, but some of the growth, I was really surprised at how far it jumped. And Oregon as a whole, you're right. And we've got to work on that. We're not setting the public education more on fire. So as a collective, as a group, and I think Governor Kotek has a good vision, and yeah, hopefully the legislature can make sure they get hooked up. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. We're gonna go over now to curriculum adoption. It's an action item. We have a chat.
Good evening.
Thank you.
You have that list, is it in the package?
It is in the packet.
I brought the books too, I mentioned that to some of you. I know we've been working on this year, selecting. Now the 4 SAVIS books in that list, those will be for the regular science classes and the state adoption list. We have the 4 AP books. And those are not on the state adoption list because the state adoption list only includes core curriculum, regular type classes, not AP, not college level. Then there's a note on there. This is stepping back just a little bit to the 4th one down, which is the SAVIS Experience Biology and Miller and Levine Biology. We're currently using Miller and Levine Biology, and their SAVIS Experience Biology that matches the other 3 books above that isn't going to be out from the following year. And our contract will allow us to pick up the new version, which will be the SAVIS Experience Biology version. I mean, not this coming school year, but the year after that. And the book that's actually on the Oregon adoption list is the Miller and Levine Biology book. But after looking at it, and because it matches our other books, it makes total sense to move towards that book. It's updated with current information, matches the way that the students are learning in the other books. So there's a slight deviation from what's on the Oregon adoption list because it will be the new version as opposed to the old version. That's why it's doubled up there. Was I clear on that one? Did that make sense?
So are we using the book we are now doing for an extra year and then taking this Miller?
Yes.
Okay, that is clear.
We're currently using the Miller and Levine Biology, and then as soon as the new one comes out, they're going to give it to us. And then Live Well is the health curriculum. There's 2 books here. And then the Foundations of Restaurant Management is version level 1 and level 2 here.
So Live Well is on the state adoption list?
No, because those are electives and extra type classes. Well, the health is, but the culinary is not.
Did I put that wrong on here? I did. That needs to be corrected. It needs to be a yes and the material approved for health. We're also going to be investing a substantial amount in math materials with the AP classes that we're adding here, the science classes. And we're gearing up for that as the teachers will, this summer they'll go and participate in a lot of AP professional development at the AP institutes. And they'll get a better understanding of, they're starting to over the course of this year, but after that training, they'll have a really good understanding of which materials they need, and we're gearing up to purchase all of those lab materials that they need. It makes sense that we're purchasing new curriculum to really help our game on materials and not to equalize what we're trying to do and do it all the way around really well. And our students will be, all of our lab materials for the most part will be updated at that point. They'll be really nice.
Does anyone have any questions?
I can make a motion.
No question, okay. All right, Marty?
I'll move we adopt the instructional material 25, 26 that's listed on the list from our assistants.
Well, thank you.
I want to raise your output.
Okay.
Even though we don't have one.
With that little fix there, where approved materials approved by ODE, yes, on the wood wall.
Yeah.
We have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
Can I ask just a point of clarification? So I think does ODE basically just stay out of the AP courses because they're already determined by the AP system? Is that correct?
They just don't do it. And they don't do it for electives either. They do it for the core math, really social studies.
And I'm sure the AP is like they're geared so you can pass the AP test. So probably not.
And the way that we select, and the way that we select those materials, generally speaking, our teachers took the approach this year is they go into the AP. There's forums for each content area or discipline, like biology, chemistry. They sign up for those. They read through the material and they ask people what's working really well, what's aligned to the AP test. What are the teachers that have some experience? What do they see as helping? And that's what we use to select the books here.
All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, motion passed.
Should that leave math left? What's left with that?
Math we did listed previously.
Oh, that's
so
right.
This year it's just these items. And then to make the announcement also that next year we'll start working on adopting new social sciences materials.
But math we have now is Savas already. Right?
Yeah.
Savas and big ideas. It's a mix with and with the AP material we not necessarily want those. But Savas at the K-8 level, and the big ideas at algebra, and then the second year is as half and half data science and geometry, and then algebra 2 is big ideas, and then once we get to the college level, the upper level classes, it's mix and match. And again, those materials aren't on the adoption list once we get to that point. There has been some attempted alignment with what we're trying to do at SWAC with passing 105 and 111. And we engaged with SWAC, the math teachers, twice this year with their math teachers to try to figure out what's the best pathway once we get to algebra 2 to align to what they're doing. Because we had them come over and present to us our math data and how our students are doing when they end up at SWAC, and it's not where we want it. And so in trying to figure out what's going on with that, we suspect that in our classes past the algebra 2 level, there wasn't a perfect alignment with either, because the students have to either go the 105 pathway or the 111, which is more of a statistics or more of a calculus pathway. And we don't have a perfect alignment with our courses once we get past algebra 2, so we are working on that. We met twice to discuss it.
And it's hard because all I can say is in the past, our kids out of advanced math, including calculus, have done well at the university levels. And I have had students who passed the calculus class that they all had those levels and didn't pass the SWAC test. So the alignment is not clear at college level. So it's good that we have the conversations going.
And we should do that again next year too, to see where we're at. We'll have them come through the data presentation and then engage with their math teachers again, and dial it in further.
Can I, yeah, just a quick comment. The coordination, the collaboration between the SWAT professors and Marshall Math Department, and then even down to our middle school has been really strong this year. I mean, encouraging everybody's getting together to talk about online math articulation. We don't always help ourselves with our kiddos because they don't have to take 4 years of math, and we can talk about that later. But kids are kids, right? They're, I always say, past least resistance like water many times. I think we set them up a little bit for failure when they go to post-secondary because they don't have to take a math class. Our counselors, our administrators, our teachers do everything they can to get them to sign up for 4 years, but sometimes they just can't. They can't force.
When we talked to the math professors at SWAT, that was one of the major talking points is our students need to take 4 years of math. And which classes specifically. So that needs to be an ongoing discussion in the district. At a certain point, instead of letting the students decide that, we need to apply some pressure and maybe even some rulemaking to make sure that they get 4 years of math.
And then the other part is, you mentioned Big Ideas is our high school math curriculum. Savvis is our K-8. Savvis has a strong adaptive software component. We do not have an adaptive software component at the high school level. So we need to talk, we're having those discussions with our math department as well, to make sure they have something that kids can accelerate or get the remediation through the algorithm, through the software.
Is it common for other districts to have a 4-year math requirement?
No, I think, graduation, I gotta be careful because I'm gonna start pontificating here, but graduation rate is such a big deal. And it's it might be the most important target, that third grade reading, that sometimes people will compromise 4 years of math because they want to make sure kids are graduating. I have to stop talking about my previous district, but we adopted 4 years of math, and there has only been an increase in the graduation rate.
It's funny you said that because that's immediately where my brain went. Is that going to affect our graduation rates? Are we going to create additional fifth-year students, to graduate? Immediately that's where I went. So.
And you create choices in the math, right? It doesn't mean everybody has to take AP stats or pre-calculus. I mean, you can, it could be algebra 2, it could be stats, it could be geometry and construction. I mean, you can do a little bit of an a la carte, but what you have to do, math professors will tell you, you have to keep the pencil sharp, right? You have to be thinking mathematically. And what we're finding, the math professors at SWAC are telling us, if they can't get through 105, we lose them. If we can get them through 105, then they can finish that 2-year. But that's the sticking point is 105. And so that's why we say Algebra 1 and 105 is the floor for all of our students.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, speaking as a parent, I required 4 years of math for my kids, and my daughter went off to USC, took her test, and they told her she took it gleefully. She had no math to take in college. She was very pleased with that. She actually said, "Thanks, Dad." She's an arts major, and she was going to go into writing and theater, and she didn't really want to take any more math. So, if you take it in high school, you don't pay for it, and you get more time to do what you want to do when you're in college. So I really encourage people to take it to the max.
And again, it doesn't have to be, if the students have made a wise decision with their family that they're not going down the calculus pathway, the engineering science pathway, we need them to take still a math class, and a class that aligns to passing whichever route that they're taking.
Yep.
Has to be something. It doesn't have to be up there, but it needs to get them to where they want to be. And your layoff, it's not the best choice at all, especially for the students that aren't confident in math.
Generally, usually the ones that probably don't want to take them.
That's right. Exactly.
Yeah. They need a little more encouragement. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up, we have the business office with Marina.
Sure, thank you. So all I have for you today is enrollment. Enrollment as of June 2nd. So we are down. That's been my
common thread this whole year. We are only down 19 from last board report. So that is a relatively small decrease for this year. We're actually ending the school year at only 56 lower than we did last year. So only a 2% decrease, which is right on track for what our data analytics study provided. They expected about a 10% decrease over the next 5 to 10 years. We're pretty on track for that. When looking at last year's data, most of those decreases were actually at AYA. Their enrollment as of June 3rd last year was at 68 and is down to 40 this June. And then Madison was at 293 last June, ending the year at 277. Sunset was at 364 last June, and they're ending at 344. And then the junior high, which we spoke about last month, but the information in Synergy was not as reliable as we would hope because they had that 6th grade input, and then also the students were only enrolled for athletics. But we're saying last year they ended at 422, and this year we're sitting at 397. Everywhere else is a fluctuation of less than 3, pretty on track. AYA, I don't know, was part of our data analysis. I'm not sure that was really something that they forecasted when we talked about our long range facilities planning, because that's when that analytics was done. But I would anticipate our enrollment will continue to decrease at 1 to 2% for the next nine more years. That's what we budgeted off of. We budgeted off of this current year ADMW for state school funds because it's always the higher of the 2 extended ADMWs. So that from the budget was a decrease of 77 ADM for next year. So about 800,000 of decrease in students. So not out of our estimation, but lower than we budget to continue. And so we're going to look at how we keep the mistakes in our district rather than having to leave that second semester, that second group. So that's kind of one of those things we're going to look at over the next year. Is really where this kid's going and track them and see if we need more in our system next year. Any other questions on enrollment?
We know that those numbers in line with our sort of demographic data. I mean, you know, obviously our population in our area here is aging. I think the over 65 population is close to 20, moving towards 25%. So that means the younger group is probably decreasing. So I just wonder, I mean, is that kid, I mean, just wonder how much is related to just demographic trends versus like individual school trends, district trends, and if we know that.
Yeah, well, the other factor, I think you're right, is society writ large is having fewer children.
Kids, right.
Right. I mean, it's a trend post-COVID. So we certainly are impacted by that. You know, there's some optimism with maybe the port project, and maybe that will change things if the economy turns around. But we're more like most of the districts on the coast. We're in a declining enrollment environment. I don't think we're declining as fast as some of our neighboring districts, and hopefully with, you know, our movement with, you know, student achievement and learning and programs and all the things that are happening in Coos Bay with activities and arts, OBOB, all the things we can attract people to our district.
The data analysis primarily looked at demographics. So it was birth rates, the trend of kids that were moving out of the state and moving out of town. It was not a ton of demographic factors in terms of our locations and size of town. It was far more about actual birth rates and data analysis of that. Thank you. That's all I have. The 9th is a little impossible to have financials to take turn. And we did have our auditors here this last week to do some interim auditing. We're going with Umpqua Valley Financial again for our 2nd year of our audit contract. I would imagine we will have an audit for presentation. My hope is November. Fingers crossed, and it'll be a smooth audit.
All right. Thank you, Raina.
Thank you.
Okay, up next we have a facilities committee update. So with the facilities, we had our baseball coach come in, he presented to us, and then we had, we heard from our athletic director at the facilities meeting. And then also we'd like to give a thank you to Loma and his team over at Facilities and Maintenance for getting a lot of stuff done, plus also kicking down double overtime for getting graduation stuff ready. And on time, getting all behind the scenes stuff that a lot of us might not even recognize. So thank you, Loma and team and the crew. And then, see, over at Marshfield, the flagpole was having some problems. So they have a new flagpole in with all the permits and it's up and flying. And then that's it for facilities. And then we're going to now go over to the policy committee update with David.
All right, so you may have noticed that your packet is about 4 pounds lighter tonight. That is because I link them all in the agenda and no one's actually reading the policies at the meeting. I thought it was a big waste of paper, so I'm doing my part to save a tree. So if you would like me to continue to put them in the packet, please ask me specifically and I'll create that for you. But the practice moving forward will be to not put them in the packet. Still working through the policy analysis updates that we were provided by OSBA. Right now we're in the review phase. We've made any major changes or any things we were out of compliance with. Those have all been taken care of. Now it's just policies that we haven't looked at in a while and they think we should look at. So that's what we've been doing in policy. We had first readings for adoption. I indicated if there were no changes at all to them. We just looked at it and said this matches our practice and we had no suggestions. But they're just on here so that we have record that we did in fact review them at this date. And then I did note if there was a minor grammatical change or things like that, and that's really the only changes that we made, with the exception of policy or the KGAR1 facility usage. We did change some grammatical errors, but we also added additions to the fee schedule. We did increase the fee, but currently we were not charging for grass fields and there was nothing on there for the batting cages. So those are resources that likely the community would like to utilize, and we would not like our maintenance department have to dig into their budget for that. So it's in line with the rest of our fees. It's nothing extraordinary, just enough to cover our costs of using those facilities. Then we have about 10 policies up for deletion. These were also part of the OSBA policy analysis. They indicated about 100 policies that they no longer support and were marked for deletion. So we are working our way through those as well. And that's about all I have for policy committee. Does anyone have any questions? Terrific.
Right. Moving right along, over to a board item, board member highlights. Board member highlights.
I'll start. I went to the safety committee meeting at just Loma High, so we did a tour of Sunset, checking classrooms independently, and went around and had a conversation about all the fire things and the other stuff, checking for electrical outlets, and it was actually very good. It's nice to do it. Yeah. Reminded me that there's no windows in that building, which drives me crazy. But it was a good conversation and it's great to do it with Loma. So I want to commend Loma and his team too for the stuff they've done. And then I think all of us were at graduation, and most of us, which was a great opportunity, and went to the graduation for our destination, which was, I really liked it, the auditorium. It's a great opportunity and great event. So overall, it's been a really nice ending of the year. And I was awestruck by the new nautical flagpole that we have in the middle. That looks really cool. When I came up for graduation and looked up at that thing, it's a good job. So overall, yeah.
I've got nothing, sorry, guys. I enjoyed graduation both destinations and MHS. It was really nice. It kind of reminds you why we show up to these meetings. So it's nice to have that in while we are here and doing what we do. And so that was nice. I really enjoyed it. It was nice to see the kids graduate. And yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I don't know how you just, it's nice to be here, probably my last regular board meeting, as I get called for something in the intermediate time. But I just want to thank you all for making my time here enjoyable. And I would also just make an invitation to, if you need something that you think might be helpful with, I'm certainly willing to come and help where helpful. So thank you.
So then, next on here, we consider LOA requests.
So you all have that as a loose, it came in at the final hour. So it was on the agenda, I was just waiting for the actual document. So that's why it's not part of your packet, and so that's what, yes.
I'll move that we accept the, the recommendation. I'll move that we accept the LOA for.
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
And just a question I just would like to ask the district position on this. So normally it affects district staff, so I guess I wonder if there's a feeling one way or the other from district health.
Yeah, I mean, she has our support. Yep. Yep. And we'll accommodate and work, and I think she's taking, not to get into the best detail, she's taking some time out for her little kids and families. So yeah, absolutely support her decision to do that.
And the only thing we promised is she gets her job back.
That's right.
Not that the job, but a job.
Yeah, you'd always love to get them back in their spot, but there's some decisions that we made. But yeah, she will have a spot back. Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, pass. And then action items. Do we have any more action? Oh yeah, we have a resolution there.
We have a resolution from the business office. So annually in June, I present to you a reauthorization of applications, things that maybe we have all great intentions at the budget time. Those grants come in, as grant budgets are approved, as general fund expenses are approved in addition to those grants, things get adjusted. So our projection in the middle of May was that we were going to go over in general fund instruction by about 200,000 and support services by about 10,000 for the general fund. But I wanted to make sure that I covered ourselves with enough appropriation authority to do so. So I would like to recommend that we move $1 million from contingency and put 750,000 into instruction and 250,000 into support services. We don't intend to spend all that, but that covers us so that if we go over our current appropriations, it's not an audit thing. And then under 200 fund special revenue fund, this is all related to ESSER because we end up being able to spend money. In last fiscal year, we had over budgeted in facilities acquisition and construction because we weren't doing HVAC this year. And so I'd just like to have us move that 1,250,000 from facility acquisitions to support services. Just the way the grants aligned this year, we had more in support services than we did for construction. And so it's just reallocating those within the major fund.
Does that, it still meets the same requirements for ESSER and other kinds of those funds? Okay, they can be used for support service or, okay.
Because all the grants are included. So, for example, early literacy grant, which was higher this year because we had a carryover, it all had been spent essentially on instructional support services. And so when I'm building this budget last May, I thought we might have more facilities spending, and we did. And so I was just hoping we can get to it.
I move that we accept resolution number 2025-04, authorizing the transfer of appropriations. So that would be in general fund, moving 1 million of contingency into construction and support services, and the moving of the 200 special revenue fund for facility acquisition for support services on the $1,250,000.
I'll second.
Any more discussion? Question? Okay. Go for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, pass. Thank you. And then also, Cody, thank you for sticking around. So at the very beginning, I should have said, if you have something to do tomorrow and you can't stick around, it's okay to pull out. But then you held in there like a champion. So you did good.
Getting tight.
Yeah, thank you.
Just like the 100% student that graduated from this.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. You did, yeah. All right, so, and this is your last meeting tonight, or?
Unless I'm called to duty by the, again, by the end of,
You probably come up with something.
well, there are some bargaining stuff coming, so that might.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Well, I was just filling in tonight because I'm the vice chair, but so I was wondering if you could just close us out then. If you could do that. And if you break it, you get to keep it.
Somebody has great passion. Call this meeting closed. Thank you.